If you're a learning sim racer but wants to understand how to overtake and cut through the pack, this one's for you. This video will show you the basic elements of overtaking and give you clarity and confidence when it comes time for you to do it. Overtaking is an essential skill to reach your true level. There's no way around it, so you must learn how to get around others. After all, some of the highest peaks of enjoyment you'll experience in sim racing are born from an excellent pass, so it's well worth your attention. Let's get to it. Before I begin, thanks to G Performance for sponsoring this video. G Performance offers a wide selection of sim racing products from various top brands, for beginner sim racers all the way to professional race drivers. G Performance is focused on ultra-fast delivery, good pre- and after-sales customer support, which earned them an excellent rating on Trustpilot. When it comes time to upgrade your kit, check the link in the description and find your next setup, or head to gperformance.eu, or if you'd like to support the channel by using my tagged link, go to gperformance.eu/DannyLee. Between G Performance and you lot watching, you all have my gratitude for your channel support enabling more videos like this. Overtakes are the crown jewel of motorsport. Everyone admires a beautiful, daring, opportunistic pass. They're the core ingredient of every inspiring motorsports video montage, and are often the most applauded couple of seconds in every famous driver's career. Sim racing gives you a chance to slice off a thin piece of that pride and satisfaction, and nothing affirms your skill quite like winning a position from another racer. We have to study overtakes from the very beginning. The secret to regularly overtaking like a pro is understanding that almost all of them are set in motion well before they actually happen. The exciting bit you see at the end of an overtake is usually grown from what happened just before it, most often simply by exiting the previous corner faster than the car you're about to overtake, giving you momentum on your target and the chance to try. Overtakes accomplished at the end of a Kemmel straight at Spa are usually born at La Source and Eau Rouge by exiting them faster than your target does. Overtakes at Silverstone's Club Corner are usually born in Stowe. Overtakes at Aldi are usually born in a fruit and veg aisle. You get the idea. Oi. So the first principle of overtaking I want you to underline is give yourself room for momentum to happen. If you catch up to another car and you find yourself in close quarters overtaking distance, and you then remain an inch away from their rear bumper through corners, that's where you'll likely stay because you can't drive through them, and you will find yourself roadblocked, limited by their speed through corners, leaving no room for your momentum to actually mean anything. Wise drivers know that you have to hang back from your target before you take a swing, so that you have the space and room to go through corners faster and emerge out the other end with the momentum you need to then overtake your target. In this example, you can see how I am initially very close to the back bumper of the McLaren, but at the end of the corner sequence that leads onto a very long straight, I back off the throttle and create an air gap. That air gap gives me room to be faster through that corner and achieve momentum on the car in front on exit, resulting in an overtake. Hanging back gave me momentum. Momentum made the overtake much clearer, easier and completed earlier than it might otherwise have been. It feels wrong to hang back from your target on purpose. It goes against the principle of motor racing not to be going full attack all the time, chipping away at the paint on your target's back bumper. But if you want to make positions efficiently, then this is something you need to know, because it will help you get the job done in 2 corners rather than 2 laps. If you have a bad qualifying or get punted early on in the race, this principle of patience and timing will be needed to slice through slower cars in the grid without getting held up. When there's a big pace difference in your favour, momentum alone may be enough to clear your opponent before the next corner, but whatever the case, the true game of overtaking now kicks in, because the next stage of the attack will be to pull out from behind your target and draw alongside them. What you do here matters, so let's run through it. Overtaking almost always involves 2 cars entering a corner side by side, alongside each other. And it is usually the car on the inside that has a better chance of coming out ahead. Not always, but the majority of the time, especially true if you're among beginner or intermediate ranks. This is what's known as having the inside line, And having the inside line is to racing what holding the higher ground is to sword fighting, or having secret metal plates in your gloves is to boxing. It doesn't guarantee victory, but it makes it far more likely. It's an advantage. That's why such a big fuss is made about having the inside in racing. Be it F1 or lawnmowers, that's where you want to be if you want the best chance of your overtake to succeed. Having the inside makes overtaking more likely because if you use it correctly, it denies your opponent access to the corner apex. They cannot drive through you, they have to go around you on a longer line that's less well practiced and harder to judge, making their job more difficult. To clarify, the inside line is not a specific actual line that exists like the racing line does. It merely means that you're on the inside of the car you're attacking in relation to going through the upcoming corner, either to the left or to the right of them, depending on which direction the upcoming corner goes. With that said, if the inside line is so important, why doesn't the defending car just sit over on the extreme inside of a track to deny you of it every time? Because that would be tremendously slow. So there is a balance to be struck by the defending car. That is a topic for another video, and that video actually already exists. I want to let you know that I have 2 videos that you will want to watch after this that go into it a bit more. This video on how to defend, and this video demonstrating how you can manipulate the act of overtaking with mind games. Both videos are strongly recommended if you enjoy this one, and no doubt more will be made after this one as well. So, you've got momentum on your opponent, you've positioned yourself on the inside line. The next step is to judge and time your braking right. You don't want to play it too safe and brake too early, because that will allow your opponent to get back ahead of you and possibly reclaim the inside line, cancelling your overtake. You don't want to go too aggressive and brake too late, because you'll struggle to get the car to stick to the inside, and your opponent will have no trouble cutting back underneath you if they see you sail wide. Ideally, you still want to brake at your normal brake marker, perhaps 5 meters later, so that you are at least alongside your opponent through the corner. The further ahead alongside the better, as it will increase your chances of completing the overtake. This all-important dice roll is done purely through braking, which is why good equipment and personal accuracy combine to improve your chances of winning a head-to-head overtake. Alongside is good, but if you do end up out in front of them without losing control before the corner apex, due to a mistake or maybe meekness on their part, even better. But the general goal is simply to have track position on the inside. If overtaking ever goes wrong, it goes wrong here, because this is the split second of truth in the whole process. You're on the inside line, you're not on the normal racing line that you know so well. You might have practiced entering the corner on this line hundreds of times. You've practiced entering the corner on this line maybe a handful, if that. Braking on this line relies on practice and accuracy, something which you'll naturally refine with every lap that you do. Braking on this line relies on pure intuition, judgment, experience and accuracy. That's why it's treacherous but exciting to overtake. So you've gotten momentum, you've drawn alongside on the inside line, you've braked accurately, and now you are beginning to turn into the corner alongside your target. Because you have the inside line, track position, your target essentially has to play by your rules, your timing. They cannot drive through you, you are occupying the normal racing line, and their success now relies on you making a mistake, you dropping the ball. When you hear the term track position, think of it as first dibs, and it's very important. It doesn't matter how fast you are if some grandma has already gotten track position on the bourbon biscuits. A lot of drivers will admit defeat before you even turn in and will just slot in behind you through the corner. But even if they do persist alongside you, just smoothly drive through the turn as close to the normal racing line as possible, and most of the time, against most opponents, you will emerge out in front due to natural advantage, and that's an overtake. So, let's recap the stages of a rational, normal overtake. Step 1. Gain momentum by giving yourself space behind your target, then nailing a corner where you are strongest and they are weakest. Sometimes this can take a lap or two of observation to identify which corner your target struggles in compared to you, if any. Step 2. Draw alongside and position yourself on the inside line for the next corner. This relies on track knowledge. Step 3. Judge your braking point accurately. Too early and your target gets the upper hand on corner entry. Too late and your target gets the upper hand on corner exit if they're paying attention. Step 4. Carefully and confidently hit the corner apex and cleanly exit, giving at least a car's width of room to your opponent on the outside until you're clear of them. A lot of people, through desperation, will try to skip straight to step 3 and 4 without first going through step 1 and 2, creating a dive bomb, whereby you lunge into the overtake from quite far back in a wild attempt to create an overtake via brute force without really earning it, and it's almost always going to end badly. Each of those 4 steps in the overtaking process come together to make it a solid and secure overtake. Skipping any one of them at this early stage in your racecraft journey is a recipe for a crash, a DNF, creating enemies, so try to follow the process, as tempted as you might be not to, in the midst of the red mist. Before concluding, there's one important thing to reflect on. Some racetracks create more overtaking opportunities than others and will be easier for practicing on. Racetracks like Spa, Silverstone and Sebring are excellent for overtaking action because they feature difficult technical sections that give faster cars the ability to chase down slower cars with better skill, and then they feature long straights which gives your momentum plenty of time to be applied and get alongside your target, usually with a healthy dose of slipstream behind your target car. And just for good measure, they also feature some heavy braking zones which allow brave, daring overtakes to easily be attempted. These are tracks where overtaking opportunities come easily, multiple times over a lap, without requiring your opponent to make a distinct mistake in order for it to happen. And it's usually these tracks that become the most popular with drivers because they're fun to fight on. Whereas other tracks are notorious for being difficult for overtaking. Their features starve you of opportunities to overtake, with maybe only one fleeting chance per lap. Barcelona has a myriad of second and third gear corners which don't require much braking, don't last very long, and are often S-shaped, which means even if you get the inside line, it turns into the outside line too quickly for it to mean anything. The only real opportunity to overtake head-to-head at Barcelona is down towards turn 1, and if you miss it, it'll be a while before you get another go. It's not a good track to practice overtaking theory on, at least in my opinion. So, with this introduction to basic overtaking over and done with, you have the knowledge to confidently do it yourself. If it seemed easier or less complicated than you thought, then take that as proof that you know more than you think, and to give yourself more credit. Go for it and get overtaking. Thanks once again to G Performance for sponsoring this guide. Remember to go check them out via the link in the description when you're looking for your next upgrade, or head there directly via gperformance.eu or gperformance.eu/DannyLee if you'd like to support the channel further. Cheers!